South Carolina Congressman Trey Gowdy joins us. Good evening, Congressman. Can anything be done to stop President Obama's power grab?
Sure. I can think of four things right now. Number one, my colleagues in the Senate have advice and consent. If they want to shut down the Senate over appropriations bills, I might shut it down over ambassadorships or other things. The Constitution gives them the power of advice and consent. The Constitution gives us power over the purse. So we have appropriations bills that are going to be coming through the House this spring. We ought to strip money away from this executive branch because our framers gave us that exclusive right to do so. If one branch overreaches, then maybe the other branch ought to stick up for itself. Thirdly, we can go to the judicial branch. We do have standing when it comes to vote nullification, which is what Obamacare is. You can go to the judicial branch and ask them to stop, but most importantly, we can go to your viewers, your voters. Almost 500 representatives are up every 2 years. Our framers did that on purpose. And we can say, you know what? You can fix it. You can fix executive overreach or legislative underreach by throwing them out.
Well, there's no question, Congressman, that the public does not like it when the president goes around Congress. And it's one of the first things that we learn in school in civics. You know, there are three equal branches of government, the executive, the legislative, and the judicial. So given the fact that I think just about everybody understands this, why does he continue to do it?
Because so far he's gotten away with it. You know, last October, for whatever reason, we weren't persuasive enough. But, you know, people don't like the Affordable Care Act, but they didn't like our tactic of shutting down government. Okay, that's fine. We got that. We still have appropriations bills that are coming. So what we ought to do is say, you know, Mr. President, you want to run roughshod over the Constitution? We have the power of the purse. We're not going to fund your pet projects. We're not going to fund your green energy initiatives.
So are you going to do that?
We're not going to fund your vacation.
Are you going to do that?
Blank right, we're going to do it.
Blank right?
Yes, we're going to do it. Yes, because my mom may be watching. You're blank right, we're going to do it.
And my mom's
Ron
watching
DeSantis,
too.
Tommy Rice.
Well,
There are a host of my colleagues that are not just going to sit around and mope and cry because this president overreaches. We're going to respond, and we're going to respond in the appropriations process.
And you know what, Congressman, I got to tell you, that quote from that Democratic Congressman Xavier Becerra, he says something about, you know, if Obama's actions were truly against the Constitution, someone would have sued him by now. Well, how does that hit you?
Well, he's been sued, and he's going to lose on the HHS mandate, and he's going to lose on recess appointments, so he doesn't have a good track record in court. We do have standing to sue under a theory of jury nullification. It's very tough for Congress to sue the executive branch because the judicial branch doesn't want to get involved.
Exactly.
But there's an exception. There's the Coleman case from 1939 under a theory of vote nullification, because think about it this way, Judge. You know, the president has the power of veto. You know, the framers gave him that.
Exactly.
So once a bill passes, he doesn't have a second veto where he can pick and choose what parts of a law that he did sign into law he wants to enforce. So we do have standing, but I don't want to run to another branch of government. I want to assert what the framers gave us, which is the power of the purse. And if he doesn't get his act together, and frankly, even if he does, we need to stop some of his pet projects.
Well, you know what? There's no question that the power of the purse on so many levels is one of the most powerful weapons that you guys have. But you know what's fascinating to me, Congressman, is the fact that, you know, here you've got this Obamacare law, right? I mean, how it was the first thing that he did when he got in. There's not one Republican who was on that, who voted for it. And yet, here's a guy who's trying to change it when it was everything he wanted. He had no problem. He got it through exactly the way he wanted it. What does it tell you about whether or not these people know what they're doing?
That it's an abomination, and nobody wants to run for re-election based on worse coverage, higher premiums, violating the First Amendment, losing your work hours. Listen, if I were them, I'd try to delay it too. I'd try to delay it as long as I could.
But you know what, Congressman?
It's the law.
You try to delay it, but you know what? And I agree with you. You are absolutely right. But delay it for everybody. Stop with the picking and choosing and the waivers. But we'll see. Congressman Gowdy.
No,
go ahead.
No, I hope you're right. I hope in November my fellow citizens send that message. We want it delayed for everybody for a long time.
All right, Congressman Gowdy, we'll see you later in the show. Thank you.